I'm Tom Engelke. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Texas Agricultural Cooperative Council. We're here in Austin, downtown Austin, next to the Capitol. We are a voice in Austin to try to keep farmers out of the ditch from regulations, from laws, and so forth. So we represent agribusinesses that are owned by farmers. Most of our membership are cotton gins. So if you go out to West Texas, you'll see a lot of cotton gins, or South Texas, you'll see cotton gins. 200 farmers get together. And rather than one farmer spending $12, $13 million, you get 200 of them get together in one room. They say, well, let's all pitch in, borrow a little money, and let's build our own cotton gin. And they do. They build their cotton gin, and at the end of the year, it makes a margin, it makes profit, and who gets it? The farmers do. If I brought 20% of the crop to the cotton gin that year, I'll get 20% of the profit. In our case, the ones that we represent are those firms that are farmed under the co-op structure. It takes a minimum of 5 farmers to get together, and they farm this animal, and they put all the money up for it. You have to get properly chartered with the Secretary of State's office. And where we're seeing a lot of it in recent times has been like with hemp. That's a new deal in Texas. We've gotten several calls on that because it's a new industry. And one of the farmers are saying, well, we can't build an $8-10 million processing facility for that. Can we co-op? Our company is in Austin because 2 things happen in Austin, and both of them can be bad. Like one legislator once told me, he said, I can legislate you right out of business. And he's right. But on the other hand, you have regulatory state agencies. As an example, the Texas Department of License and Regulations, they regulate when you go fill up your car at the gas pump. We're here to try to make sure that farmers get all the protection that they've had over the years, whether it's tax exemptions or sales tax exemptions or diesel fuel tax exemptions. They don't get it, as an example on the fuel, they don't get it as a perk. Your fuel taxes that everybody pays at the gas pumps are paid to those people because they drive on the highway. And so that's really a highway fuel tax. Farmers do not plow and plant on a highway. So therefore, it's not a perk, but we have to be down here to protect the interests of farmers and ranchers on issues like that. And one of the things that our people are saying, our co-op members around the state are saying is, we need training. We have a training seminar just for co-op board presidents. We have one just for co-op accounting people and bookkeepers. We have another school just for co-op managers. A new philosophy that we've kind of come up with in recent times is education is a constant, training is a constant, and learning is a constant. So one of the services we provide is to do strategic planning. We've probably done over 200 strategic plans, I think, in 8 or 9 different states. Strategic thinking is a big thing, and if you're involved in ag, it's high risk and high dollar. You have to do it in today's environment. Somebody riding the fence, I would tell them, we can be the difference between you sending $60,000 or $70,000 in taxes to Austin, Texas each year for your business, or by working through us, that $60,000 or $70,000 that I'm speaking of can stay back home and be enjoyed by the farmers in your community. A gentleman approached me one day in the hallway at college and says, Marcus Hill, president of Ag Workers, wanted me to track you down and talk to you. Well, that's all that had to be said. And I learned about Ag Workers at that time. That was in the early 70s. Been a member since then. If you're in agriculture and you hadn't heard of Ag Workers Insurance, you've been living in a cave or something, because Ag Workers has been around so long and it's so notable. And I can't tell you of anybody I ever run to in the circles that I walk that never heard of Ag Workers. Well, with ag workers, you don't call somebody and go through 10 or 15 menus in New York City or somewhere else out of state. You can actually talk to a human being, and probably you're going to know them because they've been involved in agriculture. And you can get your questions answered. You can pretty well tap into most any of the ag industries throughout the state, and a significant portion of them are going to be represented with ag workers insurance. And we can say the same thing in our family. If you're in agriculture, I see a lot of good things ahead, and I'll speak to that in one case. So 3 years ago, the ag teachers created this deal where 36 ag teachers in the state go through this program. They come to the Capitol. I think it's an 18-month program. They come to the Capitol, learn about the process. I've spoken to them several times. Well, then this past year, it graduated to another level. And the state FFA put on the first ever state FFA Advocacy workshop. And they had 114 kids and 36 ag teachers come to that deal back over the summer of 2021. And I'll tell you what, I was impressed. I mean, those kids left that thing, they was ready to knock a wall down. They saw a new way. You're seeing it now in colleges across the state. The ag journalism schools that are growing, they're growing because these kids are saying, we have to have somebody being a better spokesperson for this industry. People want to be able to express and advocate. And now we did that first ever advocacy workshop. And I was blown away by those 114 young FFA kids. And to just add to that, in February of 2022, they're doing the second FFA Advocacy Workshop. And I'll be a part of that deal. And they're expecting somewhere between 350 and 400 people. Now, you tell me, does ag have a future? That answers it for me.